In this video, we're going to go through on PSLE 2015 paper 1. So if you want to get a free PSLE 10-year series, you can go to easy1.sg/PSLE to get your free PSLE 10-year series. So let's get started on the first question. Okay, question number 1. Round off 31,804 to the nearest thousand. So for this, we know that we have 31,804. So in this case, the thousand place is 1,000, right? So thousand place is 1,000. So when we want to round to the nearest thousand, we need to look at the hundred place. Okay, and the hundred place is 800. Okay, so that means the hundred place digit is 8, right? Since 8 is bigger than 5 is bigger than 5, then we can round up. So that means 31,804 is rounded up to 32,000 in this case over here. So therefore the answer to this question is option number 4, which is 32,000. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 2. So question 2 says, 6 angles are marked in the figure. How many of them are larger than a right angle? So what you can do is you can use your ruler, that's what you see over here, and then you can measure if the angle is bigger than the corner of your ruler. So the corner of my ruler is not exactly like pointy, but you get the idea. So over here, we can see that this over here is more than the angle of the ruler. So in this case, this is a tick. Okay, let's move on to the other one. This is smaller, so this is a cross. Okay, what about this one over here? So if I were to just make this a little bit like that, okay. So in this case, this is okay as well. So that's a tick. Then the next one, if you were to move it over here, it's also bigger than 90 degrees or right angle. Then over here, let's use our ruler and rotate it like this. Is it bigger than 90? Yes, it is. And then lastly, this little angle is not. Okay, so this is not. So therefore, we have, if we zoom out over here, you'll see that there is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there are 4 bigger than right angle. So right angle is 90 degrees. Okay, in this case over here. All right, so let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. In the figure, PQ and RS are straight lines. Which one of the following is true? So let's highlight the different line that is straight. So PQ, which is over here, and then RS, which is also over here as well. So in this case, let's see if we can go through the different options. Okay, it says here A is equal to C. So in this case, A and C is actually correct. So angle A and angle C is vertically opposite angles, which means they are equal. All right. So that means this option number 1, which is over here, right, is correct. So let me just put a tick beside it. Nope, I don't want this. Let me get a tick. All right. Okay, so let's move to the second option because it's good to learn as well on the other options. Okay, so B and D. So B over here is B and D. Sadly, B is not equal to D, right? So angle B is not equal to angle D, right? because they are not vertically opposite angles. Okay, so in this case, this is a cross, right? Not it. Okay, let's go to number 3. It says here A plus C is 180 degrees. So in this case, A and C is 180. So nope, as A and angle A and angle C is not 90 degrees each. Okay, they are less than 90 degrees, right? Clearly. So they are less than 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So therefore they can't be they can't have a total of 180 degrees. That's what I see over here. So this is a cross. Okay, let's go to option number 4. So B plus D is equal to 180 degrees. All right. So B and D, so both of them, if you look at it, they are more than 90 degrees. So B angle B and angle D are both more than 90 degrees, right? So therefore, they can't have a total of 180 degrees, right? So in this case, this is also wrong. Okay, so therefore, option number 1 is correct. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 4. Find the value of 9g minus 4 plus 2g when g is equal to 6. So in this case over here, we can just write 9g minus 4 plus 2g. So if you were to just add the g's together, this would then become 9, or we just rearrange, right? 9g plus 2g minus 4. And this will be 11g minus 4. Okay, and then since g is equal to 6, that means 11 times 6 plus 4, which is equal to 66 plus 4. And this will become 70. In this case over here. Sorry, minus, not plus. Sorry. I was looking, where is the 70? So 66 minus 4 will be 62. So the answer to this question is option number 4. There you go. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. A solid cuboid of height 10 centimeters has a square base of 3 centimeters. What is its volume? So over here, if you know the word square, that means the square base over here, since this is 3 centimeters, okay, so that means this is also 3 centimeters. That's what you see over here. Okay, so now we know the base is 3 centimeters and 3 centimeters. We can calculate the volume. Okay, so the volume, so square base means length and breadth are the same. So therefore, the length is equal to 3 centimeters. The breadth is also equal to 3 centimeters. So volume is equal to length times breadth times height. And this will be 3 times 3 times 10, which is equal to 90 centimeter cube. There you go. So the answer is option number 2. All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Question number 6. Which of the following is likely to be the total of 8 $1 coins? Okay, so in this case over here, let's go through, right? So 6,000, let's go through each option. 6,000 grams is 6 kilograms. Okay, that's really heavy, right? So as heavy as maybe your school bag. Okay, so 6 kilogram is pretty heavy. So this cannot be it. Okay, let me put across. Okay, so cannot. 6,000 gram? Nope. Okay. All right, what about 600 gram? 600 grams. So option number three, 600 grams. Okay. So 600 grams is roughly around maybe your phone, right? Your iPhone or your smartphone. I mean, now it's called phone, right? So as heavy as a smartphone, as heavy as a smartphone. So I don't think the coins is as heavy as eight $1 coins. Okay. Okay. What about one? Right, 6 grams. How light is 6 grams? Okay. So to give you an idea of how light 6 grams is, it's actually one piece of paper. Yes. So in this case, it's as heavy as one piece of paper. Okay. So that means it's two, lah, right? So 60 grams should be the answer. Okay. Roughly should be the answer. Okay. So 10 grams, it's like, I mean, 60 grams, it's as heavy as your coins. That's what you see over here. All right. That's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 7. Which of the following is net of a cube? All right. So in this case over here, we can go through, right? But yeah. So if you have you are familiar with Net's cube, the answer should be number one, lah. Okay, so the answer should be number one. So it's usually a W. It's yeah. In this case, so one looks like a W. So it is correct. So you need to confirm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Looks like a W. Okay, very good. Okay, for two, right? Should be the opposite side. In this case over here. So what I mean is that this should be the correct one. That's what I see over here. All right, this should be the correct one over here. Okay, so that's number two. How about number three? So number three, okay, it should be here, right? So actually, I'm going to cancel. So this is wrong. Okay, so this is wrong as well. Okay, so this should be over here, right? Or sorry, like this. Okay, so yeah, it should look like this. Okay, last one, this one is wrong as well. Okay, it should be like this. Okay, so let me actually put like this and then put a tick. Okay, in green. Hey, why did I delete that one? Okay, so this should be a tick. That's what you see over here. All right, so paste. This should be here like this, and then this should be here like this. Oops. Okay, so put it over here. Or you can put it here as well, right? Doesn't really matter. Okay, so yeah, I think there isn't much for it. But yeah, so that's it. That's how it looks like. All right, that's it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 8. Ty was in school from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. yesterday. How many hours was he in school? Okay, over here we can say 7 a.m. to usually you want to go to 12 p.m. And that's basically 12 minus 7, which is equal to 5 hours. So from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. is equal to just 4 hours. Okay, and then total will be equal to 4 plus 5, which is 9 hours. Okay, there you go. Pretty straightforward. 9 hours in this case. Question number 10. The pie chart below shows the different types of sandwiches at a stall. One fifth of the sandwiches were tuna, and one quarter of the sandwiches were either cheese or egg. There were three times as many cheese sandwiches as egg sandwiches. What fraction of the sandwiches were chicken sandwiches? Okay, so in this case over here, we know that tuna is one fifth, and cheese plus egg is equal to one quarter. So chicken will then be one minus tuna, one fifth minus minus one quarter, and from here we can just calculate. So this will then be 20, right? So 20 over 20 minus, so this should be 4 out of 20 minus 5 out of 20. Okay, so it's 20 minus 4 minus 5, and this will then be out of 20. So 20 minus 4 minus 5 will be 11 out of 20. Okay, so the answer to this question is option number 4. So it's here, 11 out of 20. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question 11. Question 11 says, the pie chart below shows the different types of sandwiches at a stall. One fifth of the sandwiches were tuna, and one quarter of the sandwiches were either cheese or egg. There were three times as many cheese sandwiches as egg sandwiches. What fraction of the sandwiches were egg sandwiches? So we know that one quarter, so cheese plus egg is equal to one quarter of the sandwiches. And we know that cheese, right, has three times as much as the egg. So that means the egg is equal to cheese, and then we divide it by 3. That's what we see over here. Or simply put, the easier way I would say is, right, cheese is equal to 3 units, egg is equal to 1 unit. So in this sense, total is equal to 4 units, right? So for egg sandwiches, 4 units. So for egg sandwiches, is basically egg is one quarter of one quarter. Okay, because the total is 4 units or one quarter in this sense. So what we need to do is we need to just multiply it, right? So this will be one quarter times one quarter, and this will be 1 out of 16. There you go. Yep. So that's the answer. 1 out of 16. Let's move to question 12. So question 12 says, arrange these distances from shortest to longest. You have 3.15 kilometers, 3, 1/5 kilometer, and 3 kilometers and 105 meters. So with this, we can just convert everything into meters, right? So we have 315 kilometers, we have 315 kilometer, and we have 3 kilometers and 105 meters. Okay, so we know that we have 105 meters for this. So what about 3.15 kilometers? So essentially, this is equal to 3 kilometers plus 0.15 kilometers. Okay, so we know that 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. So what about 0.1 kilometer? So that means it's 1000 divided by 10, which is equal to 100 meters, right? So in this case, or the same as 0.1 Okay, the easiest one I think is multiplying by 1000. So 0.15 in this case, is equal to 0.15 times 1000 equal to 150 meters. Okay, so 3.15 will be equal to 3 kilometers and 150 meters. All right, that's what you see over here. Okay, what about 3 1/5? Okay, so this is 3 kilometers plus 1/5. Okay, 1/5 of a kilometer, which is basically 3 plus 1/5 times 1000. Okay, right? Okay, equal to so this one equal, and basically it's 3 plus 1/5 times 1000 is basically the same as 1000 divided by 5, right? So in this case, we then get 3 kilometers plus 200 meters. Oops. Okay, 200 meters in this case over here. Okay. All right. So now we know the different options. We have 3.15, which is 3 kilometers and 150. 3 kilometers, 3 1/5 is 200 meters. And then 3 kilometers, 105. So the largest or longest one is 3 kilometers, 1/5. So longest is 3 1/5. That's what I see over here. And then shortest is 3 kilometers, 105 meters. That's what I see over here as well. Okay, so the option number one is the correct answer. Okay, question 13. Figure 1 is a trapezium with a perimeter 36 meters. Figure 2 is made out of 4 such trapeziums. The perimeter of figure 2 is 96 centimeter. What is the length of the side AB of the trapezium? So over here, figure 1, as what you see over here, this whole thing is 36 centimeters. Okay. So now the thing is, this whole figure 2 is 96 centimeters. Okay, that's what you see over here. So this is 96. Right. So the thing is that if we were to just calculate the figure 1 in figure 2 without overlapping it, so we will just say, assuming that we just calculate including this line over here. So essentially, we have all the lines that is, what do you call this? That is basically all these AB lines, right? So AB over here is essentially all of this. So let me make this different color, red. So AB essentially is this line, which is over here. One, so make this a little bit disjointed. So you have one, two, red line. Then we have three red line. Okay, and then four red lines. Okay, and then AB as well is also over here, which is this red line and this red line as well. Okay, and this red line and this red line. That's what you see over here. So essentially, 96 centimeters is the whole figure 1, 4 times of it. Okay, so figure 1, 4 times of it, right? So I'll just put fig 1 in black. So it's all 4 times of figure 1, figure 1, figure 1, figure 1, and figure 1, right? But minus of the AB as well. Okay, so 96 centimeters is basically 4 times figure 1, 4 times figure 1 minus of the AB. So we have these two lines that are joining together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So minus 8 AB. Okay. So in essence, if I were here, figure 2 parameter is basically 4 figure 1 without the AB that is represented, without the AB lines. right? Or side AB sides represented as red line. Okay, so all of these are overlap. So we can just minus off the 8AB. So 4 times figure 1, right, in this sense is, okay, I'm gonna put it here. So equal to 4 times figure 1 is essentially 36, right? 36 and then minus 8AB. Okay, so this is not arrow sign, but it's an equal sign instead, right? This is 96. Right? So with that said, we calculate. So 96 is equal to 4 times 36 is basically 2 times 2 times 36 minus 8AB. And then from here, whoops, let me grab this. All right, so 2 times 36 is 72. Okay, minus 8AB. Then 2 times 72 is 144. So 144 minus 8AB. So in essence, basically 8AB is equal to 144 minus 96. And this is equal to 48. Yep, 48. Okay, and then 1AB is equal to 48 of 58. 48 divided by 8 is equal to 6 centimeters. Okay, there you go. Hopefully this makes sense, right? So this is how you do question number 13. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 14. A number when divided by 30 gives a remainder of 8. Which of the following can be added to the number to change it to a multiple of 6? Okay, so let's put it simply. So you have a number, right? Number divided by 30. It gives an answer with remainder or R remainder. I just put here remainder 8. Okay, so number divided by 30. So the number can be as simple as 38 divided by 30 is equal to 30 remainder 8. All right, as simple as it can get. That's it, right? So which of the following can we add to the number to change it to the multiple of 6? 38, okay, is not multiple of 6. So how do we add to multiple of 6? So what's the closest to 6 that is more than 38? So if you put your multiples of 6, right? So it will be dot dot dot. Then you have 30, 36, and then 42. So there you go. You have 42. So the closest to 38 is 42. So we need to add, right? So with that, it's 42 minus 38, and this will be equal to 4. So the answer to this question is 4. So I say right here. All right, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 15. Ling and Junie made greeting cards over 2 days. One Saturday, Ling made 19 cards more than Junie. On Sunday, Ling made another 20 cards and Junie made another 15. At the end of the 2 days, Ling made 3/5 of the total number of cards. What was the number of cards Junie made? Okay, so we can draw models. So I'm going to put here Ling and I'm going to put here as Junie. So it's over here. So Junie. All right, so Ling over here. All right, I'm going to draw like this. So Ling made 19 more cards than Junie. So I'm going to draw something like this. Okay, something very simple like this. All right. So this is not drawn to scale. So 19 more than Junie, right? On Sunday. Then, sorry, on Saturday. Then on Sunday, Ling made another 20 cards. So Ling made another 20 cards, a little bit bigger than 19. And Junie made another 15. So the 15 definitely will be smaller than the 19 as what you see over here. So a little bit smaller. Okay. So at the end of the 2 days, Ling made 3/5 of the total. So Ling over here is 3/5, right, of total. So in units, okay, if you were to just in well, in units dot. So Ling actually made 3 units. Then Junie made how much? Or okay, from 3/5, that means total is equal to 5 units. That means Junie is 5 - 3 equal to 2 units. So from here we can actually draw it out as what I see over here. So Ling over here is 5 units. So 5 units. And then, no, not 5 units. Ling is 3 units, while Junie over here is how many? 2 units. So that means we can find the difference in this case over here, right? So how many units is this? Okay, how many units? So it's pretty straightforward. Okay, so difference is equal to 3 minus 2, which is 1 unit. So this is 1 unit. That's what we see over here, 1 unit, right? And then difference in units, okay, in units. So what about the difference? So difference is basically 20 plus 19, which is Juni, right? Okay, minus 15, which is equal to 39 minus 15, which is equal to 24. Okay, so now we know that 1 unit is 24. So we want to know how much Juni has made, which is basically 2 units. So 2 units of Juni, right? Juni is equal to 24, or 2 times 24, which is equal to 48. So the answer to this question is 48, which is option number 3. All right, that's it. Question 16. Find the value of 8,020 divided by 5. Okay, so in this case, what we can do is we can put 80, 20 divided by 5. So what I like to do is it's the same as 8,000 plus 20 and then divided by 5. And when you put like this, then what you can do is you can just divide the two numbers separately. So 8,000 divided by 5 plus 20 divided by 5. So 8,000 divided by 5 should be 1,600 plus 20 divided by 5, pretty straightforward, it's 4. The answer to this question is 1604 in this case over here. Okay, that's it. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 17. Find the average of 9 and 4. So to get the average, we need to get the average. We need to get a total, and then we divide it by number of numbers. Okay, right. So the average of this. So to get total, it's 9 plus 14, which is 23. So the average is equal to 23 divided by two numbers, which is equal to 11.5. Okay, there you go. So that's the answer, 11.5. Let's move on to question 18. In a figure, ABC is a straight line, find angle K. Right, so let me zoom this in. All right, so we can see that ABC, so I'm going to draw a line, ABC over here is a straight line. So the red line is a straight line. So we want to find angle K. So our total angle in straight line is equal to 180, not 190, 180 degrees. That's what I see over here. So angle K is equal to 180 minus 40 minus 112. And let's do this step by step. So it's essentially 180 minus, so 180 minus 40 is 140 minus 112. So 140 minus 112, you just do the workings. The answer should be 28. Okay, so the answer is 28 degrees. That's what I see over here. All right, 28 degrees. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Okay, question number 19. The figure is made up of three squares. One square is divided equally into four triangles. What's the fraction of a figure shaded? Okay, so from here we can actually just also split this up into for each square we split up into four equal triangles. Same goes to the other one as well. That's what you see over here. Okay, so we split each square to four triangles. So that means the total triangles is equal to 4 times 3, which is 12. Then shaded triangles is equal to 3. So fraction of figure shaded is equal to, right, 3 divided by 12, or basically the shaded triangles over total triangles, which is equal to 3 out of 12. Wait, let me put an equal sign instead, which we simplify, always simplify into 1 quarter. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 1 quarter. That's what you see over here. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question number 20. The figure shows 5 roads drawn on a map in a square grid. Name 2 roads that are parallel to each other. Okay, so you can have your ruler steady, ready, not steady, right? Ruler steady also can. Right, so you have your ruler. I'm just going to make it like this. And then you should have another ruler as well, right? Whoops, like this as well. Okay, so 2 rulers. Okay, first make sure to create an L shape over here. So you can find 2 straight things and align like this. Okay, make it as long as it can. So we want to compare road E to road B. So road E over here, you slide down to road B, and then you can see that they are parallel. Okay, so that's the answer, right? Road A to road B. If you want to compare to other roads, you can. So for example, you want road A, so you align road A, and then have your ruler. Okay, my ruler suddenly change size and shape, but it will look something like this. Align them like that, and then you just compare. Is it aligned to road C? Not really. Same goes to road D. Is it aligned? Not really. So that means, in conclusion, road E is parallel to road B. So road E is parallel to road B, right? In this case over here. All right, so let me just draw something. Just draw a line, red or green. Okay, so this and this are parallel to each other. Just gonna draw a parallel arrow as what you see over here. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 21. The figure shows 5 roads drawn on a map in the square grid. Name 2 roads that are perpendicular to each other. So if you want to find something perpendicular, what you can do is you grab your rectangular, what do you call this, ruler, and then you just need to align on the roads and see which one of them is perpendicular. So road C is not perpendicular to anything. What about road B? Okay, so you have road D. So road D over here, I think you probably can see it, but road D is perpendicular. You can see, right? I'm gonna align nicely. So road D is perpendicular to road E. Okay, what about road B and road D? No, they are not close together. And road B is not perpendicular to road C. What about road A? Is it perpendicular to anything? So we align the ruler to road A. That's what you see over here. It's not perpendicular to any roads as well. So in this case, road D is the most perpendicular in this case over here. Okay, so there you go. So road E is perpendicular to road D. So road E is perpendicular to road D. That's what you see over here. All right, so that's about it. Let's move to the next question. Question 22. What is the price of the watch after adding 7% GST? So this price is before GST. So I'm just going to write here price before GST is equal to $30. So 7%. of, okay, 7% or GST itself, right, is equal to 30 times 70, sorry, 7%. Well, if GST is 7%, I think not a lot of people can survive, including me, right? So in this case over here, 30 times 7%. Okay, so we can make it as simple as possible. 100% is equal to dollars 30. Okay, and then 1% is equal to 30 divided by 100, which is dollars 0.30. So what about 7%, which is equal to 7 times 0.30, which is equal to dollars $2.10. So that is the 7%. I'm going to put here GST. So now price with GST is equal to 30 plus 2.1, which is equal to 10 cents, $32.10. So I see over here. All right, there you go. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 23. How much water in milliliters is in the container? That's what you see over here. Okay, so what we can do is we can zoom this in a bit, and we must find how many gaps before 1 liter. So we have one. Let me just put this in red. Okay, so we have 1 gap, 2 gap, 3 gap, 4 gaps, and 5 gaps. So 5 gaps is equal to 1 liter, right? Or which is also equal to 1000 milliliters. So 1 gap is equal to 1000 divided by 5, which is 200 milliliters. So we want to know how much water is in milliliters. So the water is 1 and 2. So that means water or 2 gaps is equal to 2 times 200 equal to 400 milliliters. So water volume is equal to 1 liter plus 400 ml, which is equal to 1400 milliliters. So that's the answer, 1400 milliliters. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question number 24. A semicircle is drawn inside a box. Measure and write down the length of the radius of the semicircle. Okay, so I have a ruler over here and we are going to measure. So I'm going to pull this out. And usually what I recommend is always to put a notch so that it's easier to measure, right? So once you put a notch, you align your ruler to the notch itself, and then you can measure how long this is. So if you look closely, this is 2.5 already. Okay, 2.5, 2.6, and very close to 2.7. So the answer to this is 2.7 centimeters. So I see over here. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 25. Okay, so C is one of the dots inside the box. Draw two lines AC and BC to complete a triangle ABC with AB equal to AC. That's what you see over here. All right, so in this case, if you were to look at this, right, uh, yeah, I can draw a two lines like this. So 1 and 2. That's what I see over here. So it's basically, or I just let me draw an arrow instead. Okay, so it's 2 lines from here. So this is 2. Let me put the number 2, or just put like this, right? This is 2. Okay, and then this is over here. This is 1. That's what you see over here. All right, so from here, then we can just do it uh, the opposite way. So that means this will be 2. Okay, this is 2. And we go from 1 on top. That's what you see over here. So why we are doing this is because we can draw a straight line from, so the line, let me put in red, straight line from A to this part. Okay, and then we're going to reach the other side, which is the other one over here. That's what you see over here. Okay, so this is how you draw. Okay, or actually even better, you can just draw all the way to the line, to the dot, and measure it. So this shouldn't be what do you call this, shouldn't be 2. It should be, this is how many, 1 2 3 4. So this is 4 gaps. Okay, so this 4 gaps, and this is 2 gaps instead. So what then we'll do the same. So this should be 2 gaps, right? and then there should be 4 gaps. Okay, so at least you know where to stop, right? That's what I see over here. And then after that, we draw the other line as well. That's what you see over here. Okay, and there you go. So AB, and then you need to put the what do you call this? The letter C. That's what you see over here. Okay, and then we can just remove. So you can erase this and erase this, right? And there you go. You got your correct answer over here. Okay, alrighty. Okay, save this. All right, let's move on to the next question. Question 26. The bar graph shows the number of children in the families living in a block of flats. One third of the families have one child. Draw the bar shows the number of families in the graph. Okay, so we can draw, but I also put the answer of how many, what do you call this? How many people are there in uh, with one child? Okay, so let's measure the number of gaps over here. Okay, so let's draw it out. There's one gap, two, three, four, and five. So 5 gaps is equal to 10. One gap is equal to 10 divided by 2, which is, sorry, 5 is equal to 2. All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so in this case, what we're going to do is we measure families with 0 child. So in this case, this would then be equal to, this is should be 18. 18 over here. Then let's do the same for the rest. Okay. Oops. I don't 18. I want the line itself. Okay. So the line, it's over here for the next bar. So 20, 24. So this should be 24, right? 24 over here. And then lastly, we have 3 children, which is just 10 lah. Okay. All right. So we know that everyone except one child. So I will say total uh, total families without one child is equal to 18 plus 24 plus 10. So 18 plus 24 is 32, 42 plus 10, which is 52. So we know that without one child in terms of fraction, okay, is equal to 1 minus 1/3, which is equal to 2/3. So two thirds of families is equal to 52. 18, 24, yeah, 52. Okay, and then 1/3 of families, and this is basically uh, the all families with one child. Okay, one child is equal to 52 divided by 2, which is 26. So if we want to draw 26, I'm going to put 26 for the answer. We're going to draw the 26, and the 26 is just one line above the 24. That's what you see over here, right? So 24, we know one gap is 2. So now we can just shade these as 26. That's what we see over here. Okay, there you go. So the answer is 26 in this case. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 27. The table shows how much a company charges for a cleaning job. Mrs. Menon paid the company $200 for a cleaning job. How many hours of cleaning did she pay for? Okay, so first we know the first 3 hours is equal to $80. Then after that, the remaining payment is equal to 200 minus 80, which is equal to, ignore the answer, but yeah, remaining payment is 120. Okay, so number of additional hours, okay, this $120 is then equal to 120 divided by 20. This is 6 hours. So total hours is equal to, if you were to look up here, first 3 hours, right? So that means total hours is equal to 6 plus 3 equal to 9 hours. Okay, therefore, I mean, you could see the answer. Lah. The answer is 9. All right, that's it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Question 28. Sam drew 5 figures shown below. A is a circle, B is an equilateral triangle, and C is a parallelogram. Parallelogram. Can also. D is a rhombus and E is a trapezium. Name all the figures above that have at least one line of symmetry. Okay, so let's look at it. Okay, so A don't have anything. B don't have anything because triangle don't have line of symmetry, even if it's an equilateral triangle. What about C? Does C have a one line of, oh, sorry, line of symmetry? I thought it's parallel lines. Okay, my bad. So one line of symmetry. So in this case, A has at least one line, which is this. You can literally rotate anywhere and it's still aligns, right? So I'm just going to put A as in the middle. That's what you see over here. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. Okay, so what about B? B also has at least one line symmetry. What about C? Does C have a line symmetry? So let's see if you got this correct. C, not really. If I were to put diagonally like this, nope, it doesn't fill in correctly. Okay, even though it looks like it, it is not. Okay, because one side is longer than the other. So for C itself, it's an X. Oops, the line should be red. So this is the X. For the others, whoops. Okay, so for the others over here, it's a tick and it's a tick. What about D? Right? So D is a rhombus itself. Okay, so what this means is that if I were to put like this, it is actually a line as well. Okay, so that means it deserves a tick. Last one, trapezium. Is there a line of symmetry? Sadly, no, because there isn't much. Okay, so this is a cross for the trapezium side of things. Okay, so the name all the figures. The answer is A, comma B, comma D. Okay, so there you go. So that's the answer. A bag contains straws of 3 different colors. One quarter of the straws are blue. The ratio of the number of the red straws to the green straws is 2/3. What is the ratio of the number of blue straws to the green straws? Okay, so in this case over here, let's say let's R be red, let's G be green, and let's B be blue. So with this, we can just put here, right? So if you know how to convert fractions into ratio, then it's pretty straightforward. So if you say 1/4 of total is blue, okay, RGB, okay. Last thing that I want to put also forgot. Let's green, blue, right? Red and green. Okay, RG, B, red plus green. Okay, so red, green is RG. So 1/4 of total is blue. So that means B is to the rest, which is RG, is 1:3. Then the total, right? Total is 4. That's what you see over here. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. Yeah, like this. That's what you see over here. Okay, blue is to red, green is to total is 4. Okay, so you just minus 4 minus 1, then you get 3 lah, right? So in essence, 3/4 of total is red plus green. Where is it? Green. That's what I see over here. Okay, so now the thing is, we also know the ratio of the red straws and green straws. Okay, so if I were to duplicate this, okay, red is to green, and then we have the total as well, red RG as well. So red is to green is equal to, let me duplicate this. Basically, we have red is 2, green is 3, and RG is 2 plus 3, which is just 5 in this case over here, right? So we can remove the total like this, and then we can remove the 4. So that means we have a combination of the ratios. That's what you see over here. Just put it like this. And RG is 5 is to 3 as what you see over here, right? So let me just put some space like this. Okay, so now we have these two ratios. How do we get the final ratio as what we see over here? So what we need to do is we need to have the lowest common multiple. So it's as simple as you have 5 and 3. So lowest common multiple, multiple of 5 and 3 is equal to 15. Pretty straightforward. So we can just, right, let me put in something, times 3 for every single one of them. So times 3 times 3 times 3. And then we also just times 5 for the RG and then times 5 for the blue. So the final one will then be equal to 5, okay, is 2. So let me just put this somewhere else. So 3 times 5 will be 15. And then 2 times 3 will be 6. And then this will be 9. Okay, there you go. So this is how the whole ratio will look like. So what's the ratio of blue straws to green straws? So blue is 5. And then green straws is 9. So the answer to this is 5 is to 9. There you go. All right, question 30. Meng wanted to build a set of steps with 1 centimeter cubes. The figures below show how he built the steps from a height of 2 centimeters to 3 centimeters to 4 centimeters. If Ming continued building the steps in this way, what would be the height of the set of steps that had 140 cubes? Cubes. Okay, so over here, let's look into this closely. So it says here at first it is 1 centimeter cubes, right? So essentially this is 1 centimeter. Let me just put this like this. So 1 cm. Gonna put this a little bit tiny. So you see over here 1 cm, and then this will be 1 cm as well. Okay, all right. This is a bit. Okay, let me just make this smaller. Okay, 1 cm, 1 cm, right? 1. Okay, and then the volume and the length as well. Actually, we can just put it here like this. Okay, oops, like this, right? 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, and then the length itself is also 1 centimeter. Okay, so I'm just gonna put like this. This is also 1 centimeter. That's what you see over here. Okay, so in this case, it builds up to 2 centimeters. So it's essentially at least 1 centimeter, and then you have another one. Okay. So we may continue building this way. What will be the height of the set of steps that has 140 cubes? That's what you see over here. Okay. So we should know how many cubes we add, right? So at first, how many cubes we can literally count? One. So let me just put 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So we have 5 cubes, right? At the top. So this is 5 cubes, right? So then we multiply by 3. So for 2 centimeters, we have around how many cubes? 5 times 3, which is 15. Then if we were to go for 3 centimeters, because we want to know the height of the steps. Okay, so the height of the steps here is 2 centimeters. So we want to know how many centimeters is 140 cubes. Okay, so 2 centimeters 15. What about 3 centimeter? Okay, so 2 centimeter height, step height. Okay, so step height. Okay, so now it has increased. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is 5 times 6, which is 30 cubes. So 15 cubes, and then we have 30 cubes as what you see over here. So this 3 centimeters. What about 4 centimeters, right? 4 centimeter height, step height, I mean, 4 centimeter step height will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 5 times 10 will be 50 cubes. That's what you see over here, right? So let me just put like this, and then so from 15 to 30 to 50. Okay, right. So we know there is a constant, right? That it's always 5. There's 5 in a row. Okay, and then we also have 15 cubes. So we know the number of cubes. We also know that there is 5. So we also know the number of rows as well in this case. Okay, so I mean the number of rows of the cubes. So let's do that. So that means rows of cubes is equal to 140 divided by 5, which is equal to 100 plus 40. Okay, I'm a little bit lazy. 100 plus 40, then we put the brackets. Okay, and then we divide it by 5. So 100 divided by 5. Oops. 5 plus 40 divided by 5. Okay, which is equal to 20 plus 40 by 5 is 8, which is equal to 28. So we know that the number of rows of cubes for 140 cubes is equal to 28, right? So now we need to figure out the pattern 3, 6, and then 10. So the pattern over here is, right, in this case, 2 centimeter is 3, 3 centimeter is 6, 4 centimeter is 10. Okay, so that means it is essentially, it looks something like this, right? So you have 1 centimeter. If you were to put 1 centimeter high, it's just one row of cube. So you have 1, then you have 2 centimeter, it's basically 1 plus 2. 3 centimeter is 1 plus 2 plus 3. 4 centimeter is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So what about 28? So 28 in this case, so if I were to put 5 centimeters, it's basically 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is equal to 15. Okay. And then, I mean, technically you can continue and you eventually will get where you want it, lah, right? In this case, which luckily happens. So this is 21. And then for 7 centimeters, I think you got the answer. So 6 centimeters is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. Okay, and this will become 28. So in this case, the height of the cubes to get 140 cubes, which is 28 rows of cubes, is 7 centimeters. So the answer is 7 centimeters. There you go. All right, that's it. That's the last question. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what other things you want me to show you next. If you want to get this paper, free PSLE, free 10-year PSLE 10-year series, you can go to easy1.sg/PSLE to get yours. All right, see you in the next one. Bye bye.